Hello there, Vic Benedict here. We're playing Dark Souls 1 on the PC. This is my guide and walkthrough. We're now on the 20th installment, the Ornstein and Smough boss fight. So, this is a very well made fight. The run back to the fight is great if you go the way we're going now. And overall, without lying, I kind of like the fight. It has a measure of, it has a measure of reserve to it that I respect because I respect restraint in games because it's so easy to go overboard. And ironically, that's kind of the feeling that I got early on with this fight, which has a huge learning curve to it. That the developers just went too far with this fight, but it's one of those cases where knowledge pays off. And basically, my fundamental issue about dealing with a fight like this is, well, how do I deal damage to these enemies? And the thing about this fight is that Ornstein, the one I just was hitting, he is weak to fire. But the issue, though, is that when you actually fight, if you choose to, or if it so happens that you fight Ornstein Ascended, he really isn't weak to fire that much, even though it says he is online and on the forums. And I think it's just the fact that he is weak, but he's not weak to the point where you're going to deal much damage to him because he's in his ascended or super form. Now, that doesn't hold true for Smough, the guy with the big hammer. He's weak to lightning, and in his ascended form, his super form, because he gets even bigger, he's still weak to lightning. So anyway, basically, I choose to fight Ornstein on this phase because it's irritating fighting the slower one when the faster one is coming at you and pretty much cock blocking your attempts to hit the other. So I decided to just focus on the fast one while leaving the slow one to catch up to us. And the other thing about that is, if you leave Smough and save him for the Ascended form, he's actually a lot more manageable to fight. So anyway, do the standard thing of toggling the lock on and off, and then here is Ornstein. It won't avail you whatsoever to try to kill them in tandem. You might be, I don't know if there's some kind of glitch where maybe you can kill them at the same time and not do the ascended form here, but basically, just focus on one on phase one and then focus on the other in phase two. Obviously, if you're trying to get the weapon drops, you'll want to kill them both. You'll have to go through another cycle of the game though, but I'm not sure what they drop. I think you can get this guy's hammer. The other guy might have a ring, or somebody told me that he had a ring, but I'm not sure about that. But this guy is actually quite simple. You're basically going to see the same attacks that he had before. He does have a really powerful jump later in his phase here, but we're just looking for clear openings to attack him and just stay away from his hammer because it has really huge range to it. As you can see, just wait for him to attack. He's got so much recovery time that you can just go right up to him and take care of him. Pretty simple, but I think the biggest issue for me was just finding weapons that can deal damage to these guys, because there really is nothing worse than when you're fighting bosses and you're just dealing chip damage. So that's what I said about knowledge is going to be paying off here. So we're using some weapons that don't break the game. Believe me, when I was first doing this, I thought that the only way I could beat this was with the Black Knight Halberd at +5, and that just completely destroys and breaks the game. And if I have to use a weapon like that that's overpowered, or if I have to summon help, then deep down I'll always know that I can't do the fight, because if I can't do it on my own, then I can't do it. So the weapons that we're using deal pretty good damage while not breaking the game, so we can rest at night and look ourselves in the mirror. Look at ourselves in the mirror, as ugly as our faces might be. Um, but you're going to be dealing a little less damage to this guy just because he is in his ascended form. But believe me, I've tried to deal with ascended Ornstein, and he's just a lot harder. So maybe if we do another cycle, new game +1 or something like that, we'll save him for the ascended form. But yeah, a moment ago you saw him do his thunder jump that he did. Here he's kind of doing his jump and his ground pound there. But I mean, look how many openings you have to hit this guy here. As long as you're not getting excessively greedy, you're going to be pretty good to withdraw. Now, I think he may. I wanted to observe when he does this jump where he casts like a thunder AOE on this right here. I would just say I honestly don't think we're iframing our way through that. I think what's happening with that actually is that we're rolling safely away from him, distanced from him. I think if you're close to him, his actual body when he does that, you are going to get nailed. So yeah, this was a long time in the making, you guys. This I don't know if it's the hardest fight in the game, but for me, it was just hours on hours on hours trying to finally get this. And I can't say that I slaughtered these guys because I got slaughtered so much, but I finally was able to beat them, and more importantly, I was able to beat them and still feel good about myself. And I honestly, when I beat these guys with the Black Knight Halberd, I felt like I had cheated, and I had ultimately cheated myself. So that is the victory achieved. Take care. And oh, I forgot. I'm gonna give a thumbs down to that fight. I know it might be a dick move on my part, but honestly, I think that fight is one of the worst that's ever been made. And I don't know how I feel that way when I still feel that it's enjoyable, but who knows? Take care.